Hello everyone and welcome to another customer service training champions video. Today I'm going to be talking about the onboarding process, which I also call the employee experience process for your customer reps. And this is an exciting topic because I think we all want to create a better experience for new customer reps to join our company. My name is Tal Schnall. I'm your customer service coach, speaker, and mentor. And this is a great topic for you as a leader in your organization because you always want to add value to the employee experience. So this is wonderful. So let's talk about those. But before I talk about it, I want to share with you really the perspective of where I'm coming from, because the onboarding process for customer service has changed over the years, and companies say that they do a lot in welcoming their new customer ambassadors to their companies, but there's more to be done. I think that the most important day, if you think about it, the most important day for your employees is the first day. It's got to be just as memorable as you would deliver a customer experience for your customers. So I always talk about the employee experience will shape the customer experience. So if your employees are having a great, memorable, positive first day, then the rest will pave the way for the customer experience. And there's more to be done as a leader in your organization, but we're going to be talking about that first day and why is it so important to connect emotionally with your customer service reps. Now, remember, when you started out on the first day, you were just excited and pumped up and really ready to go. And so it was an emotional experience for you. You wanted to feel positive, you wanted to feel inspired, you wanted to make a difference, you wanted to make a contribution in that environment that you were hired on, and make your case that you can add value to that environment. So up those ways that leaders can make the onboarding a success, the keys to success to onboarding customer service reps to your organization. So it is the premise of the employee experience. And one of the first things that you have to do that I think we miss or we sometimes take for granted is to share the philosophy of the culture, to share the philosophy of the company from a service perspective. So what does that mean? It means that you're sharing your vision, your strategy of customer service vision, and you're sharing the purpose of why we want to deliver exceptional service. And the values. I mean, if you think about companies like Ritz-Carlton, they have values that shape their culture, that it's all about customer service and customer experience. So you can look at some of those companies that are really excelling in customer service, and they shape their values, and they hone it in, and especially on the first day they create that orientation that is sharing those service values with the employees, so they understand the big picture and they understand what needs to happen every day. The second thing is to put an emphasis on the history of the culture and maybe the history of the company. How did they came about? What is the overall direction and the journey of the company, and where are they going, and what shaped them who they are? I can relate to that working for Marriott, for example, a company that's been around since the 1920s. There's a rich history in such a hospitality company that there's so many stories, and then part of the orientation should be about storytelling. That should be part of kind of what we call brand identity. People have to be connected. Your customer reps have to be connected to that brand identity. And what it's all about is really connecting them emotionally, that there's something bigger than themselves. I mean, that's what you want to do when you're talking about a memorable, positive brand. You're talking about history. You're talking about Disney. You're talking about Marriott. You're talking about companies that have a rich history. And that's very important. Now, if you're a startup and then you have a company that maybe have 10 employees and maybe it's an agency of customer reps, share why your company came into existence. I mean, this is so important, especially from the founder of the company, to come in and be part of that orientation process, because people want to know, why did you establish a company? What was your purpose? What was your vision? And what was your big why of why you wanted to make a difference in the world with your company, or maybe in the business environment? And there are reasons. So be sure that your founder of the company is there, the owner of the company is there on the first day of orientation. So key individuals need to be there to connect emotionally with that individual. So there's a bigger purpose here rather than a checklist or paperwork. So the next one is to share expectations of customer excellence. I think that, again, we have assumptions, and sometimes we don't share those things with our employees when they come on board, and we want them to make sure that we're sharing the expectations right on. A lot of issues and a lot of challenges surface up later because there's lack of communication. So early on, you've got to communicate those expectations to them of what is their role and how their role is going to contribute, and what is the expectation in that role to deliver exceptional customer service. So depending on your industry, and that's why I'm not necessarily using an example, depending on your industry, you may come up with those expectations for your organization and what that means to serve that customer. You may be in a call center, you may be in a restaurant, you may be in a hotel. So those expectations can vary based on your industry or based on your organization and business. The next one is empowerment guidelines. I often get asked, what can we do in a certain situations? We have an employee, you have a customer experience situation, and we're not sure what are we going to do and how are we going to do it, and how much is allotted to take care of this, and so forth and so on. So it's really important to be clear, and important with clarity to where specifically your employees understanding your organization empowerment process. And so, we talked about the Ritz-Carlton, which they are well known for the $2,000 empowerment policy. Now, your organization may be a little different and may think about it in a different way, but it's what you're learning is not necessarily about the $2,000. It's creating a philosophy, a mindset of where your employees can feel that they can do things for your customers without always asking and always looking for approval. That's the point of empowerment. And every company needs to have some guidelines, obviously, for their employees so they can use their best judgment in that type of scenario. So empowerment policies, empowerment guidelines are very important for your employees. The next one is, obviously, which is very, very important, is to introduce them to key individuals in the organization. Maybe find a mentor, someone who is a mentor or someone who is a training buddy, to help them within the next 30 to 60, 90 days. The first 30 to 60, 90 days are very, very critical for any new employees. It doesn't matter if you're a manager or a customer service reps. Those are key days. Those are emotional days that you really gotta connect with that person and make sure that the foundation, it's like a foundation of a building, if it's there, then you know that you're doing the right thing and you're building on that foundation. But if the foundation is not built the right way, then you know that there's some things that need to happen there. So partner up with a mentor coach in the organization, introduce them to key individuals that can really help them grow and develop, because you are creating, again, that employee experience. The next one is kind of ending it on a high note. And here's what I'm saying here is this. Is share a success story, share the culture stories of heroes in your organization. And why do we do that? Why is it so important for me to tell you about it? Is because I think that people are wired for stories. People want to know, if I want to be successful in this company, who would I emulate? Who would I look up to? Or who is this customer service hero or rock star in an organization that I can model and see what what is the acceptable behavior and what is the inspiring behavior of that individual that I can really understand the culture. And every organization has those heroes. Every organization has those rock stars, those customer service rock stars that went above and beyond. And I know that they exist at where I work. And so they're exemplary leaders. They're heroes of that culture of what we're trying to establish. And I think that's important to go back to that. Why do I say that? One of the things that I shared yesterday in the blog post of LinkedIn that I shared about customer service skills and attitude, the last one was leadership. Doesn't mean it's the last thing that you need to do, but leadership is by example. So when someone is looking for someone is looking for leadership, they're going to look at the example of that individual. So it is not about having a customer service manager title or any of that sort. it is about going back to those examples of the people that were doing it and they do it successfully. So these are some of the thoughts I have for you, key to success in the onboarding process. So hopefully you feel that I added value to your day in those perspectives and strategies. I am sure there are more. Please share them with me. I would love to know what's on your mind when it comes to creating that employee experience, because it is just as important as the customer experience. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to connecting with you in the future. Take care.